Guys, welcome back to the podcast. This is our very first episode of 2026, so Happy New Year. We hope you had an amazing festive break and ate all the food, drank all the drink, and had a bit of time off training. But to kick things off properly, we are sticking with our new tradition because today we're joined by no other than Joanna Wietrzyk. She was our first guest of 2025, and after everything she has done since, it only felt right to start the way with Joe again in the exact same way. So, is there anyone better to listen to whilst you're sitting down, you're setting your New Year's resolutions, your goals, than the girl from Melbourne who has just taken the Hyrox world by storm? We have followed Joe's journey from the very beginning. If you haven't heard the first two episodes we've done with her, go back and check them out. She'd only raced a couple of times in Australia when we first chatted, and she was already making waves. So then fast forward just one season, and she's not just racing the Elite 15. She's going head to head with the GOAT, the greatest of all time, Lauren Weeks, and she finished with an incredible second place at the World Championships. And somehow, this season's just gone up another level. We've headed into 25-26 season, and Jo is already 2 for 2 in the major solo wins. She also topped it off with another huge doubles win alongside her teammate Jess at the Melbourne Major, which was an epic weekend we're going to have to get into. And this season is just shaping up to be absolutely next level. So, I mean, honestly, I could keep going, but there's not really much more you want to listen to me say. So I think we should just get Jo back on. Welcome to the podcast, Jo. Happy New Year. And wow, where do we start?
Wow. Oh my gosh. Even just a recap of that. Wow. Like that's all I can say, really. Happy New Year. But oh, it's been a really, really big year since the last time we chatted. I cannot believe that this is my life. And yeah, your little recap there is explaining me. So it's wild.
Well, I think we do. I mean, obviously, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, everyone, and you, Joe. But I do think we want to start with Melbourne because huge congratulations. You took both the wins in the solo and the doubles, and you raced on home soil. How did it feel?
Oh my goodness, yeah, it was first time racing all the way back where it began in Melbourne. So it was obviously an Elite 15 major, which when I heard months and months ago that that was going to be a major, oh my goodness, I knew it was going to be a special weekend, whatever the result was going to be. Just literally racing in front of home crowd, my friends, my family was there for the first time ever watching me live. And yeah, it was just such a special weekend. And I mean, the results that I got during that weekend, first in singles, first in doubles, and then did the mixed doubles as well. It was just out of a dream. Like, honestly, I couldn't have ridden the weekend better if I tried. And I like obviously dreamed about what the weekend would look like, what it would shape like, and that was better than what I could have ever imagined. So yeah, it was pretty special.
I mean, it's insane, isn't it? And we know from just following your journey that you haven't had your family there to watch you, and you've
Yeah.
achieved so much before you even got to Melbourne. How did it feel like? Did you wake up at home? Like, did you? Because if anyone's watched your vlogs, you've obviously gone. You've got a new Airbnb. You go and find the shops. You find your Whole Foods. You get sorted.
Yeah.
But this time, what you were at home? Was it wild or?
Yeah, it was honestly crazy, but I still kind of treated it like I was away from home. So I did sleep in my bed from the Tuesday, which was weird because I raced on Friday and it was just so soon to still be at home and with my dog and my family and all that. So I did stay in a hotel that weekend just to kind of have a bit more normality around racing because I feel like if I woke up in my own bed and just treated it like a normal day, I wouldn't be in that race mode. So it wasn't until literally the day before the race that it actually started feeling like it was race week or that we were going to race because it just felt so normal being at home, which it's so funny because normally I travel thousands and thousands of kilometers in different time zones in foreign countries and navigate my way there before even approaching a race. So it was different. It was definitely different, but I mean, the results spoke for itself that I was very comfortable and happy and content there.
Yeah, absolutely. And did you feel like going into Melbourne, like the days running up, did you feel like I feel good? Like I haven't traveled, so I kind of feel fresh and I'm like ready to go? Or did you have kind of that pressure that it was racing on home soil that you were maybe a bit more nervous? I don't know, like without the travel, did that change things?
Yeah, like I think a lot of people spoke to me in the lead up being like, "Oh, are you extra nervous because, there's more pressure because you essentially are fresh and you should be the freshest of them all." Despite Jess, obviously, Jess was also and Gab was both Australian on home soil. But yeah, I honestly did not think about the race until the Wednesday when I came into the city to essentially get prepped for it and stay in the hotel there. So up until 3 days before the race, I did not think about the race at all because I was just in such a normal routine that I am here at home. So for me, I'm pretty good at shutting all that out and the noise and everything like that. I know there was a lot of chatter behind the scenes about, oh, she's fresh and everything like that, but I just treated it like a normal, essentially training week and just kind of did my normal routine and everything like that. And yeah, I mean, I was feeling very, very fresh. It was probably one of the freshest races I've ever raced in, which explains because I was here in my hometown. But yeah, no, it was honestly no different to any other week until that day before the race.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's quite cool and it's just very telling of how you prepare for everything you do, like moving into a hotel and keeping it like a race weekend, so you have that same mindset. Did you like how did the race go for you, the solo? Can you talk us through a bit? Because we know there was a bit of back and forth, but then you made your move like right at the end. Like how did you feel through the race and how did that feel for you? Like did you get any external like support when you were feeling a bit like when it was feeling tough? Did you see family and it helped you or
Yeah.
how did the race go?
So I didn't actually see my family until after the race. I didn't really know where they were in the crowd or anything like that. So I knew they were physically in the arena and I knew they were there, but I didn't see any friends or family before the race, so I didn't know where everyone was. But in that race, oh my goodness, it was the most back and forth kind of tail chasing race ever. It was a great entertaining race for the spectators. We put on a great show, but for
Yeah.
me, being the racer, it was quite stressful to say the least. But no, I'm very, very proud of my efforts in that race. I think I've never won a race that far, like in the race, if that makes sense. I've always kind of been in the lead from that further, like, from the sleds or anything like that, and trying to just hold my lead until the end of that race. So I've never actually won a race that late in the competition. So for me, like that was a very big moment for myself. But yeah, it was honestly just such a battle. Like Lauren, obviously credit to her, she's an amazing athlete. And I mean, she's like 10 years older than me and still just honestly just keeps on getting better every single race. It's so inspiring to watch and to race against her. So I mean, it was definitely some hard moments in that race. The sleds felt amazing for me, and I kind of gained back my lead there. And then after the burpees, I had a little bit of a lull, which it's a bit of a trend now, but I'd never liked the burpees. And then Lauren obviously came back in front there, and then I caught up on the farmer's carry and everything like that. Like it was just so back and forth, but it wasn't until the lunges that I literally like just overtook and then held my stance from there. But after the lunges, I don't think I've heard a crowd scream that loud in my life.
Oh,
It definitely was like a much bigger push for me to get over that line. And honestly, if I didn't have that much support in the crowd and knowing that my family's literally right there, like I don't think I would have dug that deep. But I mean, who knows what it would have been if I was on the other side of the world. But it was honestly the most special race, and like the support in the crowd was second to none. Like every single corner, it would be like, "Go Joe, go Aussies," this, that. It was just so, so special. And then obviously running across that finish line, just having the roar of the crowd and my family come over. I was so emotional in the interview. So yeah, it was so special, so, so cool.
Yeah, it was so nice to see though as well, to like to know that you had that support and your family there, and you could see it like with the emotion, how much it meant to you, and it was really like it was really special, I think, for everyone to watch as well. Probably because the race was so exciting, like, and it was back and forth, and I guess like no one ran away with it from the beginning. That it did kind of like make it a good watch, and everyone got invested to see you take it at the end, which was just amazing. And have you
Yeah.
kind of adapted to the course now that they're doing the shorter? Do you like the, is it 4 laps you run? 5 laps? I mean, I
Oh,
lose count and
well,
I'm not running it.
Yeah, look, I mean, so only the first two majors of this season will be that course. So when we go to Phoenix next and Warsaw and Poland, they're going to be different, slightly different courses just because of the venues. We can't really have two arenas in the next two locations. But yeah, the first two ones, obviously, we had a 6 lap first run and then 5 laps every other run, which when you explain that to someone, everyone's like, how do you keep count? All the things, everything like that. It does get confusing, but I think when I'm just so locked in, I just know, like,
Mm.
I just know how many laps I'm up to. There's always a screen, which you can't really rely too much on the screen because sometimes it stuffs up. But like, I think I'm just so focused on, when I need to go in, what I need to do, where my next person is, if there's someone behind me. I'm just, yeah, quite dialed into the zone to obviously do my job that I want to do is win. So, yeah, it's a little bit confusing. At the start, I was more stressed about it in Hamburg, but now I've kind of gotten used to it. And I honestly don't mind it. I mean, if it's a 1 lap course, 2 lap, or 6 laps, it's still the same race at the end of the day. You're still running the same distance. And I think I can just kind of adapt to that. I don't really think too much about it because then you get too stressed and there's so many other things you need to focus on. So, yeah.
No, fair. And how about the other two races of the weekend? Like obviously you and Jess are awesome mates. Jess has moved back to Australia now and you guys,
Yeah.
two Aussies, taking the win in the doubles as well. And then you did a third race and raced with Hunter just because two elite races and two wins isn't enough. How did the rest of the weekend go for you? How was that doubles race to start with, and then how was the mixed doubles with Hunter on the Sunday?
Yeah, well, the doubles, obviously, Jess and I, we broke the world record or our previous world record that race
Yeah.
and won. So got back-to-back titles, which that was so incredible. I think Jess and I definitely knew we don't really speak about the race before the race happens. We kind of allow each other to focus on our singles because that's our main priority. And then the day of the doubles, we'll speak about the doubles and strategy and everything like that. So we knew coming into it, it was going to be a very fierce competition. There was going to be some great girls there. Obviously, us being Aussies, we'll have the crowd behind us, and it was just going to be a special moment for us. But yeah, we didn't really speak too much about the race until the day of, but we both had the same feeling that we were going to do something really, really special. We both said to each other after the race that we knew we were going to break the world record, which I think we kind of manifested that. But like we obviously pushed so hard. I woke up that morning quite sore, but fresher than what I did waking up the next day in Hamburg. So I didn't warm up very well. So I was a little bit nervous coming into it. But as soon as I went, and as soon as obviously Jess is so dialed in when she races, we just had like we were on a mission. And I think so many people came up to us after that race, just being like, you two were like eyes on the prize, like all the way through. So we were stuck together the whole time. We really communicated well, everything like that. So we just knew exactly what we wanted to do. And I mean, yeah, we did it. We won and then we got the world record. So it was pretty cool.
And was it quite nice, I guess, racing, like knowing that you'd already qualified as well for Stockholm? So like I guess you could go in and just focus on that like placing of the win as opposed to like trying to think, okay, like we need to be strategic or like we really
Yeah.
want to win, but we also want to get the qualifying spot, so we've got to do what's best for us.
Yeah, I think like every race for me now, whether it's singles or doubles, obviously in Melbourne, I wanted to win because I was on home soil and everything like that. But I want to win every race. I mean, I'm very competitive, if you can't already tell. Um, but obviously now it's a bit like less pressure for me. Obviously, pressure as in, trying to stay consistent throughout the whole season, but less pressure in terms of I need to qualify, I need to place here or anything like that, which kind of takes a little bit off my load, which is great because I can kind of just treat these races as practice runs, like obviously very intense practice runs, but kind of play with strategy and everything like that and kind of see what works, what doesn't, and then obviously Worlds is the one you want to peak for. So you can use like little learning lessons from each race to then hopefully do well at Worlds in June.
Yeah. And you and Jess, do you tr now Jess has moved over. She moved back to the Gold Coast and you're staying in Melbourne. Like, do you guys train together or are you up on the Gold Coast now as well?
So I kind of switch between the two places. So Jess
Okay.
is on the sunny coast.
Oh, sick.
I'm down in Melbourne just because of Christmas and New Year right now. And I mean, Phoenix turnaround is so quick that I mean, I'm just going to stay here and then just go straight out. But we do have stints where we do train together when she is in Australia and I'm up on the Sunshine Coast. So yeah, it's pretty like that also helps with our connection in our doubles because we know each other so through and through. We know our strengths, weaknesses, and we just have a beautiful friendship. Like she's one of my best friends, and like we have such a solid group. So yeah, it's pretty cool, and I think you can kind of see on the race course how connected we are. So yeah, like we do get to train together every now and again, which is cool.
Yeah, which I think like for a doubles partnership, just knowing each other or like if you've done a lot of
Yeah,
training together must just help so much. And yeah, I mean, I agree with everyone that
yeah,
said everything after your race. Like you guys were so dialed in. Like,
yeah, and I think it goes beyond like obviously every doubles partner kind of knows, you know, what like my doubles partner, what she's good at, what I'm not good at, and how you kind of balance it in like a race. But I think what Jess and I have that's really special is it's beyond that. Like I know how her mind works. I know how she thinks. She knows when I'm fatigued, when she needs to take over. Kind of those little signals that you kind of just know we like telepathically, like we don't really communicate it, we just know. So
yeah.
it's kind of those little special things beyond, you know, strategy and everything like that that helps us in our doubles race as well.
Yeah, no,
Yeah. Do
definitely.
you go in with a plan? Sorry, do you go in with a plan or do you kind of go in with a plan but not really? But because you know how each other think and you know if like one of you's finding it a bit tough, the other one jumps in and do you kind of just like see how it goes during the race and just hope you both feeling your best or how do
Yeah,
you
so we have a plan for like the first half of the race, but
okay.
honestly, plans just go out the window. You could have a plan for every single part of the race and you'll never stick to it. So we've kind of learnt that the hard way. So we just go in with like a first couple station plan and then we just read off each other. If I'm feeling like in Hamburg, I didn't feel my greatest coming off the singles the next day. So Jess had to take a bit more of the load. And then I felt a fresher coming into this race. So then I took a little bit more. So we kind of just know and we can read each other's signals and we also communicate when we run around the course. So like we have a little bit of plan, but the back half of the race is just wing it and then hope for the best.
I mean it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's
Every
a-
race is going to look different. So
yeah.
I,
And then
I mean,
oh
no,
go
go
on.
on.
No,
I
no,
was
go
gonna
on.
say, I think it's impressive that you race like when you wake up feeling sore and then you still like go and set a world record. I can't just like people probably think that you like that the elites don't really get sore. I don't know, like maybe because you're so like used to the training load, but I guess in the race you like you push it to like the maximum that you possibly
yeah.
can, that you do kind of like get, is it usually like lower body, like sort of DOMS feeling?
Yeah, mine's a bit more like glutes and like calves, DOM
Okay.
sore, but like I can kind of flush it out. Like I know how to train fatigued, and I actually do enjoy training a bit more fatigued and a little bit stiffer because I just feel like I can, I don't know, I can just go rather than being all loosey-goosey and just like not knowing where my legs are. So I actually, yeah, like I felt like I had a second gear in that doubles race that I didn't have in the singles the day before. So it's quite interesting, but I think just it was just all adrenaline. We were just riding such a high, and obviously Jess did really well in her singles race the day before too. So we were just absolutely buzzing, and we just I think it was all the adrenaline and the energy in the arena as well to get us pushing that hard to get a world record.
So
Yeah.
crazy, what a
Awesome.
weekend. And then so you then race with Hunter on the Sunday and
Yeah.
in between it all, just because you said about like being stiff, did you jump on the bike or anything and just like flush your legs out? Like by the Sunday, how did you wake up and how did that race feel?
Yeah, so in between, like for the elite races, we've got to get drug tested, like if you're nominated. So they always have the bikes in that room. So I sit on the
Okay.
bike for a good 30 to 45 minutes while I'm waiting to essentially pee. But
Yeah.
yeah, I flush out my legs that way. I always take my compression boots with me. So in like at night before I go to bed, when I'm eating, probably in my yogurt bowl because everyone knows I love yogurt. When I'm eating, I normally jump in my boots so that also like moves the blood around and everything like that, so I don't just fully stiffen up. And then I just make sure I do all the basics. I kind of obviously you can't really control how late you go to bed because you're so wired. And after a race, it's the worst thing to try and sleep because you just can't, especially
Mm.
after the weekend that I had. It was just so much adrenaline and happiness and joy and everything. But yeah, I kind of just go back to the basics. So just making sure I'm really hydrating myself, eating well, trying to get a good meal or a couple meals in before I go to bed, and then sleep. Obviously, you want to try and sleep as much as possible, but I just try and sleep in the next morning and take it very slow. So yeah, I think that's what I kind of try and do just to try and wake up as fresh as possible the next day. I always jump in my boots the next day, again, making sure I'm eating and hydrating well. So then it comes the next afternoon, night time, I'm ready to go again.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. And what's it like racing doubles with Hunter?
Oh my gosh, he's insane. He's so fun to race with. Obviously,
Two
everyone
seconds,
Sorry.
Joe.
knows.
Sorry, we
Wait.
just lost you then. Can you
Oh,
start that again? Sorry. The
yeah,
signal
sorry.
went out.
That's all right. Yeah, obviously, oh, sorry. Obviously, Hunter and I raced in March, I think it was this year, earlier in Brisbane. So he is just such a character. Obviously, everyone knows who Hunter is. He's amazing. So he definitely had to push me harder in that race because he had a rest day the day before. He had a full day off. I was racing in other doubles. So yeah, it was a very, very hard race. I think that was the hardest race I had the whole weekend, just because I was trying to run off like all the adrenaline and the fatigue. I don't think I woke up not really that sore that morning, but it was more just like I was emotionally just fatigued. Like my social battery, it gets hard when you're, trying to keep on going and going and going the whole weekend. But it was a great race. Oh my God, it was such a fast race. I think we got 49 something, lost by like 10 seconds. But honestly, it was hard. It was so fun. And I mean, racing with him is always a blast. So we'll do it many, many times in the future. But I was so impressed by our time, especially after the whole weekend that it was. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like crazy because I guess it's a totally different race for you as well because is it really pushing the running like paces or how do you
Yeah.
find like the I guess the makeup of the race compared to you doing a solo or like a female doubles pair like the intensity is higher or
Yeah, like you have more sharper, higher intensity periods, which when you're on, like you're on. There's no room to kind of cruise into it or anything like that. You're off and then you're on straight away. And like with the running, people underestimate how hard it is for a girl to run with those elite men because they just fly. Like they are absolutely, I know we run quite fast, us females, but the males, like they've just got extra legs, or I don't even know. There's something there that it's just so hard to keep up with them, obviously, because they're a different gender to us. But oh, he was incredible. Obviously, he ran such a hard race, and I just had to keep up with him behind. But I mean, I'm proud of my efforts to keep up and yeah, to get a time like that. But yeah, mixed doubles specifically racing is a completely different ball game to women's and singles for me just because it's just so high intensity for that short, sharp period. And then, yeah, you're off.
yeah like
Yeah, it's crazy. They're
crazy.
just all three are just so different races, aren't they? It's
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
epic how you see the differences in all the races. And then,
Yeah.
did you want to touch on anything else about Melbourne?
I was just gonna mention the ergs because we were like obviously listening to the commentary and had Jane from Erg Army
Yeah.
on the ergs and she pulled up how good you are as an example for for your skiing and rowing techniques and I just wondered if like you kind of had any thoughts on how that might like affect your performance and what you think going into it when you get to the ski and the row or yeah or if you had any kind of like tips for anyone to try and maybe convince them to improve their ski and row technique.
Yeah, well, so I think it was just before Hong Kong last year. So just before I won my first major, I actually saw Jane in person and we had a little bit of a workshop where she corrected my technique because if anyone saw my technique before, basically before the start of this year, no, you didn't, because it was so bad. It was obviously so inefficient. And like I'm quite tall, so I'm quite lucky that I can use my longer limbs to pull harder and get a better stroke rate and efficiency on those stations. But yeah, Jane, obviously she's amazing, honestly a wizard with the ergs. So she corrected my technique and showed me how I could essentially get the most out of my body and my build and my energy system to get the most out of those stations. And I mean, coming into those stations now, I have like no worries or anything like that. I think approaching a station like the burpees for me is a bit more anxious because, I'm taller. So essentially a burpee station isn't really fitted my type of build as an athlete. And I don't like the burpees. But I was always anxious coming into the ski and the row. But now it's kind of like a recovery station for me, if you could call any station a recovery, just because it feels so smooth and effortless. And I mean, yeah, all credit to Jane for helping me fix that technique because I mean, if she can comment on it saying that it's, so efficient and everything like that, it clearly shows in my performance. So yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it was like really cool to watch because I think you just look so in control. Like you just like look like you're like floating. I don't know. And it but then are pulling like more than a lot of the other girls, or at least the same, but it looks like in a more kind of controlled like manner. So I just wondered if yeah, if you liked the ergs like and if that was kind of a
Yeah.
strong station for you and how you so do you go in knowing like what number you want to hit and be holding?
Yeah, so I do have like my essentially my race pace that I want to, go in and hit. And obviously, every day is going to look different. Some days you feel like you can pull sub 2 minute and it feels effortless, and some days it feels so, so hard. So obviously, each race and dynamic is going to look a little bit different. But I do have a pace that I kind of go in for and I start at. And then if it's starting to feel too challenging, I don't want to waste my energy too much to save maybe 2 seconds on that station. So I slow it down a little bit, but that's a big thing for the ergs. I think people try and like go in and just max out on it. And you really think like you're gonna save maybe 2 to 4 seconds in a whole race on that one station, and then coming off the ergs, you're gonna be completely gassed. So I do know that at the back of my mind that not to push it too hard. And I think that's also where it shows that I do look quite effortless because I try and treat it like that because I know that if I try and go as hard as possible and go full gas on the pedal, then it's not really going to help me in the long run. It's actually going to deteriorate my race as I go on. So I've also learnt that the hard way. So it's all trial and error. But I think, yeah, for me, it's kind of just approaching them with ease. And I feel quite comfortable there. I do a lot of training on the ergs to just essentially get to those stations and know that it's pretty much a recovery. So, yeah.
and you take time. I mean, one of the things that Jane definitely picks up, and we've heard from like chatting to Jane, is that you actually take time. You move the damper, which a lot of people have started to do now instead of leaving the damper.
Yeah.
But also on the row, you actually change like the foot plate if it's not where it needs to be. Which
Yeah.
some people would say like people jump in and don't even tighten the straps, don't they, to save time? But you
Yeah.
do. What's the deal with that for anyone listening? Like, why would you one change the damper and two change the foot plates? Why do you think that's so important?
Well, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I like things to be the way that they are, like, or the way that I train at. So I feel the most comfortable at, for example, like a 5 dampener. So I'll always go in and change the dampener down. And I mean, in if that wastes me a second, I would rather feel better on that station for that whole 4 minutes or however long I'm going to be on that station than get in and worry about, oh my God, I should have changed it, or this isn't right, or anything like that. So I know you can kind of, for example, you could train at a 6 dampener because that's what they normally set it at. And then I could just go in and feel comfortable there. But I honestly think I get more out of myself changing the dampener to a 5. And then, I mean, I expend a bit less energy and I can actually pull harder and get a better pace. So, like, everyone's so individual. I know some people like higher dampeners, some like extremely lower, like three or four. So everyone's so individual. And I think it's kind of just trial and error when you're training and just really testing what feels comfortable. Like when I'm on the road, I like my feet to be, strapped in. I don't want to be pulling and my feet kind of flipping up because I feel like I can't get any power when I pull back. So, like, again, everyone's so individual because I'll race with Hunter, for example, I'll race with a male, and I feel like no males like strap in their feet, and I just don't understand why. And like, I love having like tight feet, but the males don't. So, like, again, everyone's so individual, but it's just where you can get the most efficiency out of that station.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
It's
And
such
mindset as well, isn't it? Like you
Yeah.
just saying, that like I guess you've done everything to make that like station give you the best performance by doing the damn or doing your feet. Like in your head, you're like, okay, yeah, I'm ready. Like I've done it all. Instead of thinking, oh God, I should have changed it. And then you're like thinking
And
about it the whole
then you just
time.
think about it the whole time. And I mean, I don't, me being me, I will think about it that whole time. And getting off the station, I'll still think about it on the farmer's carry, on the lunges. Like I will think about it the whole time. So for me, just my brain, the way that I work, I just need to change it.
I love that. I love that.
I think it's good though, like when you're set, and I think it's like really good to see somebody at the top of the sport actually taking the time to set themselves. Because like usually everyone just rushes, and sometimes the panic of
Yeah.
rushing, you just look so calm and like content and just like, okay, cool, I'm at my rower,
Yeah.
gonna set my thing, go, and then I'm in it, and then you're off, and you're just very like in
Yeah.
control.
Yeah, I think that kind of has grown with me as I've grown
Mm.
up in playing tennis and everything like that. You want to be like composed, you want to be calm. You don't want to be so flustered and uptight and everything like that because essentially it's going to ruin your performance. So I think that's kind of grown with me. That's always been my mindset and I've never changed it. So I know I don't play tennis anymore and this is Hyrox, but I kind of carry over those little things and those little mindset shifts and everything through the sport. And I think that's just the way that I've been like coached as I've grown up, obviously in a different sport. So yeah, yeah,
No, it's
Oh,
it's
that's
it's
cool.
cool, and it's like the things you learn that you
Yeah.
bring in, and I guess like you said,
yeah,
mindset's quite a big thing, and I guess no one really touches on the fact if you just stay composed and stay calm, you can kind of move through the race rather than getting panicky, and that's when things start to
yeah,
happen. You try and move the damper, and then you panic a bit, and then you move it down, and you're like, oh sugar, I move it up, and then you get your feet caught in the straps,
yeah,
and if you just sometimes just take a second, take a breath. But
exactly.
anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, moving away from Melbourne because I feel like we could probably do the whole episode on Melbourne, but we really need to touch on everything else. So far this season, you've won both majors. So you started off you won Hamburg. You've won Melbourne. Moving into the rest of the season, is the aim? What's the goal for the season? Is the goal to go for all four and the win? I mean, I know you like to win, so I'm guessing yes. But what's the goal?
Yeah, I mean, so obviously, well, for me, obviously, you want to win everything. You want to be first place, you want to be on that podium. But I think for me, it's just consistency in my racing the whole season, not having these extreme highs and these extreme lows. I just want to be very consistent throughout the whole season. And I mean, if that means one of the next two majors or both of the next majors, I don't come out on top, that's fine. Like I know that it's kind of, it's I mean, it's not unrealistic. There's always potential to do extraordinary things, but you've got to be a bit more real in situations like this. Everyone's competitive. You've got girls that are, taking off majors and then racing another one off a bit fresher bodies and everyone's got a different strategy. So, and then again, different time zones, different locations. You never know how you're going to feel on the day. And I think a lot of athletes have touched on this lately that if you're not on your race day and you could have the most amazing prep, the most amazing training block, but if you're not on that hours of 4 p.m. kickoff time, it's a make or break to win or lose that race. So I could be in the most fiery, fit condition, but if I'm not on Phoenix 4 o'clock on that Friday night, then I mean, I won't win. So that's how close the competition is now. So for me, it's just consistency throughout the whole season. Obviously, I want to peak for June at Worlds. That's where I want to win that whole thing. And I mean, if I lose the next two majors and win Worlds, I'm happy with that. Like honestly, it's not really winning isn't everything at the end of the day. I want to learn as each race goes on and just kind of enjoy the journey. last season, so the 2024-2025 season, I think it was kind of just one major to the next, to the next, to the next. And it was always like, what's next? I didn't really sit back and like soak in what I did. So like winning Hong Kong at the end of the year before, I actually can't even remember what that felt like. Like I actually don't remember it because I was just like, oh, I won. Okay, what's the next major? I didn't really celebrate those wins. So I think I've kind of learned as each major's gone on and each race that, just enjoy the journey and enjoy the process of it, smile more, take photos, just soak it all in. And I think that's what I've really done well this season after Worlds. And yeah, I mean, I'm really happy. And I think that's also showing in my racing that mentally and emotionally, I'm in a really good place so I can put that out on the floor.
Yeah, no, love that. Great answer.
Cool, isn't it? And what do you think just on that, because you said about different girls coming in, obviously you've never had the opportunity to race against Meg Jacobi, have you? Or have you?
No. So my first major in Amsterdam, like when I literally I didn't even know what the sport really was at that time, but I raced her
You're like,
then,
oh yeah,
and
yeah,
it was
yeah.
like Lauren first, Meg second, and me third, and
Yeah,
that
that was
was
when you
like,
made your like first, yeah, I remember now.
yeah, that was wild. But
That
yeah, since then, obviously, she's been out with injury, so she'll come back in Phoenix, which is so exciting. Obviously, like what a cool story for an incredible athlete. So I'm personally really excited to now be where I am in the sport and have so much more experience to race her properly. I feel like the first time we raced, it wasn't really fair because I had no clue what I was doing. Did you see my erg technique? So like, yeah.
I
So
feel like that
I
first
think,
time you
yeah,
were just like, I've got to go where? There's a elite what?
yeah,
15? Okay, yeah, cool, I'll turn up. Yeah, look. But I think it'll
first
be
time
really nice
overseas.
because yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like you guys, yourself, Meg, like Lauren, like Linda Meyer as well, like you guys have been at the top like of the sport and that like battling it out. And whether it was Meg and Lauren, Meg and Lauren, Meg and Lauren, then it's been you and Lauren and you and Lauren. Now it would be quite cool to get all three of you back together and see the battle.
Yeah.
I mean, from a very selfish spectator point of view, and like because we love the sport, it's great to see all of you. It'll be great to have Meg back and see all of you in the
Yeah.
majors. Be quite a
That'd be
cool,
really cool. Yeah.
yeah, cool thing to watch.
yeah, definitely. And then we have to ask you about the shoes. If you could give us a
Mm.
little shoe review, because there was quite a few of you sporting a new fancy Puma pink. I'm going to butcher the name, so I'm not going to try and say what it is, but
Yeah.
a new very fast shoe. Could you tell us a little bit about how it felt to race and yeah, about the shoe?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Where do I even start? Like, obviously, it was a bit of a teaser for a lot of the elite races that are sponsored by Puma to race in these shoes. And it's the first of its kind. So they've essentially developed a shoe specifically for Hyrox as a sport. Like, you've got basketball shoes made for basketball, you've got football shoes made for football, but we don't actually have a Hyrox shoe yet because it's just been a running shoe that's kind of just gone on to be a Hyrox shoe because everyone thought it was fast and it had a carbon plate and everything like that. But it was never actually made the Elite Threes for like Hyrox as a sport for the stations and everything. So yeah, these new shoes, obviously the fiery pink ones, they've got a wider base, so they're more stable. They've got grip all the way down the shoe. So essentially that will help when you're pushing the sleds, pulling the sleds, when obviously you're doing wall balls and lunges, because of the wider base, you essentially don't have as much wiggle room, especially if anyone's tried wall balling in a carbon plated shoe of any brand. It's obviously got that heel lift at the end. It's not really flat. So it's always imbalanced and everything like that. But I know I am sponsored by Puma, but for me personally, I don't think like getting into those lunges, it's the fastest I've ever lunged in my life. And I just felt so stable up and down, up and down. Just I could pick up my cadence on the lunges, as obviously everyone saw where I overtook and got that lead. And I mean, every first wall ball I do, I always get a no rep or I always stuff it up where I'm nearly going to hit myself in the face. So the first wall ball, it was perfect. So, and then I just obviously I do 100 unbroken. So I just kept on going and going and going. And I think I got maybe one no rep just for depth. Like there was no like imbalances or anything like that. And I think for me, like having a shoe so stable, but it still doesn't compromise on the running because a lot of shoes either have one or the other. They are so fast and light and everything, and you can run really fast in them. But as soon as you get to a station, you feel unstable and you kind of feel like you're going to roll an ankle or something like that. But this is the first shoe I've ever tried that is the best of both worlds, where I feel so stable and comfortable on those stations, hence my race. And on the running, it felt like I was just gliding, like I was in the Elite Threes before the shoes that I used to race in. So, I mean, it's got my tick of approval. I know a lot of other elites gave theirs. So, yeah, they come out in February. So, I think a lot of people now, with all the hype that's come after this Melbourne race, a lot of people are going to be bang on buying them. So, it'll be cool, like other people getting their experience on the shoe as well.
Yeah,
no,
for sure.
awesome.
I mean,
It
this
just
how funny, like the first time we spoke to you, like I'm just going all the way back. If anyone's listened to the first episode, and we were telling you about carbon plated trainers, and we were
Oh my
like,
God.
Joe, you should try one with a carbon plate. And you're like, oh, I don't really know. And I'm like, yeah, but you might go even faster if you had a pair of trainers that were like a better pair of
Oh my
trainers. And you're like,
God.
and now you've just given this like full down, like low down review on the Puma
That
new
is
Puma shoes. And I'm like, oh my God, look, I'm so proud of you. Look how far you've come.
That is so funny. I actually, now that you mention that, that I actually did not ever race or didn't even know what a carbon plated shoe was when we first chatted. Like that is so wild that a year and a half or something goes by and now I'm giving you a full shoe review and spill on it.
It's
I
wild.
love
That's so
it.
So
good.
Yeah,
funny.
I
Oh
love it.
man.
Wow.
And you are sponsored by Puma now. Congratulations on
Yeah.
signing the contract. How has that been for you?
Oh my gosh, such a dream come true. They've been amazing to me. I've been with them, I think, since the start of this season, just after Worlds. And oh my goodness, like it's just crazy. I would never think, when we first chatted all those months ago that, you know, the third time we'd chat that I'd be, a sponsored Puma athlete. I'd be with the feed, with the Mace Fit, like with all my sponsors and, flying business class places and traveling to so many destinations in the world. Like when we chatted our first time, I think I had just flown to Hong Kong and Amsterdam, and that was it. Like I was beyond happy. I was over the moon that I'd traveled outside of Australia, and now a year goes by, and I can't even count the amount of destinations I've flown to since then. So it's pretty special and so cool that, I mean, I can represent a brand like that and they have trust in me to represent them. And yeah, I mean, obviously, hopefully I do them proud with my performances and just keep going that way.
I'm
I
sure
mean,
you
I
will.
think, yeah, I think you
I think
definitely
you
are.
have already.
Yeah, I think you're all right there. And you've just given an awesome lowdown on their shoes, so you're
Yeah.
you're doing it all right. I mean, just chilling out in business class, I think I could take that. To be fair,
Oh
knowing
my
you can go on
God,
a
yeah.
plane and like lie back on a bed, I'm like, I'll take that any
Have you
day.
seen my vlogs? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good, so good.
Oh.
And then we wanted to ask like anyone that was kind of close to that next level. Like there's quite a lot of girls at the moment who are putting down some really fast times and they're getting that 105, 104, 103 like solo time. Do you have any advice of how to like take it to that next level and just edge a little bit more off their time? Because I think now the sport's growing, more people know about it, more people are racing and training specifically for Hyrox. But there's obviously kind of that little jump at the end that takes you from, but like putting down a really impressive solid solo time, but then edging into the elites. And I think I was just looking the other day, and I think it's an average of like an hour, 1 minute, 11 seconds or something to make the
Yeah.
elite 15 now. So it's just got like faster and faster and faster. Yeah, would you have any advice for anyone that's kind of on the edge on how to take it to that next level?
Yeah, it's so incredible to see that. I mean, the period to get into that elite 15 or that top 15 is getting like harder and harder. Like the times are getting so fast now, which is honestly wild. The competition is getting so fierce, which like for me, like I want more competition. Like I don't want, just for example, me and Lauren out the front. I want other girls to be up there. And I think it's kind of getting the like a younger field a little bit more. Like you've got Lucy in there and everything like that. Emily, like all us like a bit younger girls are kind of trying to push the older ones, which is so cool. But I mean, it's like it's so hard because everyone's a different athlete, and Hyrox doesn't really have like your defined athlete. Like, you've got taller, leaner girls with long limbs like me, and then you've got stronger girls like Meg Jacoby. Like she is just a powerhouse. Like she's incredible. And then you've got shorter athletes like Lauren Weeks. Like it's just so diverse, the like engine systems of each athlete and just each individual in general. So like it's so hard to give like a specific thing to try and keep working on to shave your time down or everything like that. I think it's just experience and just keep on racing and kind of like finding with each race a little learning lesson. Like maybe it's your transitions that can be that little bit better, because I think a lot of people waste time on their transitions, and they make or break a race as well. Like you could shave a good 10 to 15 to 20 seconds just on, the way that you pick up the kettlebells, the way you strap your feet in, the way you approach a station. Like there's so much that you can do, even like your rest periods. Like if you're resting, I mean, like if you push the sled and you rest halfway, I think there's like 2 seconds that you could probably shave off by resting that little bit less or kind of training that. And I think it's just consistency. Like I think it's just, day in, day out, you get the volume in, you train, you hit the intensities that you need to, and then eventually the consistency and the commitment will pay off in the long run. Like I don't think you can shave from, getting a 103 and that's your PB, and then all of a sudden you're getting sub 60. Like it does come over time. It just doesn't happen overnight. But if you stay consistent and you're committed, then I mean, you'll be in the elites in no time.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
It's the same, like you want this like little bit of information where someone's like, oh, just do this, but it is just like the commitment and consistency of training, isn't it? That's going to get you there.
It's so boring, but it honestly, like it is. And I think that's what, like nowadays, everyone wants that one fix all approach. Like they want that secret recipe or that secret, thing that makes a sub 60 athlete or anything like that. Like people just want to know that little like tool that, how I train is going to be completely different to how someone else trains. Like I may run so much more than what Linda may run per week. And I actually do know that she runs a lot less than me, but she bet me at Worlds and is a world champion. So everyone is so different in terms of their volume, the way they train. Like I know Alex Ronkovic, he's very high, sharp intensity sessions and has a bit more of a minimal training structure compared to someone like myself that would do more hours of training per week. But essentially, it's hard because Hyrox is still such a new sport. There's no that blueprint approach to get this certain time or to be this certain athlete or anything like that. So at the end of the day, everyone's individual. So there's no secret recipe or anything like that I can give you to crack and race with me. But
it's not yogurt, like it's not eating yogurt bowls. Or...
I mean, the yogurt
never say never.
is my secret recipe. So
I've started eating more
if you have yogurt, like if you have like a kilo every single day, maybe you'll be up there. So.
That's my New Year's resolution. And then just because we brought up the sleds and you talked about the sleds, on the last race, and maybe the last couple actually of the elite races, you and Lauren have done like a full first length without braking. And it used to always be like, never do a full length, like always brake. Like I know the evolution of Hyrox and everyone changes what they're doing, but like, is that intentional, or is that because if one of you does it, the other one does it? Or is it, you're like, I'm feeling good, I'm going to do one full length and then I'm going to start breaking it up? What's the strategy behind sleds?
I think every race is a little bit different, because you could approach that sled and it could feel like a ton of bricks and the heaviest things in the world. So you will break it up. But I've always approached the race, even when I did not know what I was doing. I've always done that first length full, and I've just never changed it. So I try and like grind through that. And I think Lauren's never done that until now. So I think she's
Yeah.
like copying me, if I can say that.
Yeah.
But like I honestly, I've always approached every single race to do that full length. But again, like I might do that and then be like, nah, I'm breaking every other length because I need that little bit of extra rest. I just like for me personally to get that first one out the way. And I know that like I'm on the sled push station, I need to push it 3 more times. And you kind of just get the first one done and you're in it now. So I think for me, like approaching that by doing the full one is just like a little bit of a mindset thing that I know I've got one down and I can break it up now. And I always just try and make sure that my rest periods aren't too long, you know, a little shake out of the legs, maybe walk backwards, walk forwards, and then keep going. I think that's a huge thing for the sleds, but everyone's so different. Like other girls will break maybe 2 times in each push, or they might break every single way they go. So again, it really
Yeah.
just matters on the athlete. And if sleds are your stronger suit or your weaker suit, if you're a stronger athlete, you could probably push that whole sled up and back each time and it wouldn't worry you. But for people like me that are a little bit skinnier, like need to, you know, break up a little bit, or people that are smaller, like it's again so individual. But for me, I've just always done that first sled push, like the whole length, and I'm not going to change it now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know it's working.
I
Definitely. I
yeah.
think, yeah, maybe that's it. Then maybe it's because Lauren did the first one like unbroken and both of you did, and we were like, oh, I think, yeah, maybe it
Yeah,
was Tilly
I've
Sheep said
never
on
really
the
seen her do that.
commentary.
Yeah,
Yeah, that like, oh, this is new because it was like we went through this whole phase of like don't bring your legs up and yeah, no,
yeah,
I was just
yeah,
interested if there was a reason, but like yeah, it works for you and mindset's such a big thing if it's like the thing you do when you
yeah,
go in and you can get that first length ticked off. And then how about
yeah,
the judging? We were me and Em were talking about it earlier, and I mean I know you brought up the burpees quite a bit, and the judging's getting super super tight.
yeah. I
I'd say
mean,
how are you
yeah.
finding that?
It's crazy. Like, I mean, I love what they do in the elite races, how they have the cards, like the yellow and the red cards. It's very entertaining to like see, you know, if you get a red card. Or I love watching the men's races and being like, oh, someone got a yellow or penalty and stuff like that. So it's great. Like, it's so entertaining to watch. But I think that from a judging perspective, like the actual judges, they're obviously getting a lot more tighter on, you know, technique and everything like that. Now, obviously, sled pull, you can't touch either white line, making sure that you're not even close to that. Like they're obviously very, very strict on it. Obviously, with certain, I know on social media, there's been a lot of, you know, controversy on some of the stations, like the burpees specifically, even the lunges that some it's obviously very subjective. Every judge is going to see something slightly different. And I think what we've seen, well, Jess and I personally, in both of our doubles races, and I think the times even show that like our burpees we've been quite like strict on, and as in like we get told that I don't know, our feet aren't parallel, but they are parallel. And we got told in our previous race that we had to be standing still before we had to jump. And I don't really know what that means. So like some judges, and I'm not trying to like pick and apart anyone,
No.
but it's obviously so subjective and you can't really have that like consistent approach just yet. I know eventually they're gonna somehow make up a way for that to be possible. But right now, I mean, I find the most difficult on the burpees. I think that's why I'm so anxious getting into that station because you just never know. Like some judge might think that the faster you go, you're actually not parallel or you're not putting your chest all the way down. I just try and make sure that it's so clear to them that I'm doing everything by the book. Like, you know, if I'm lunging, I'm making sure that my knee is fully straight when I'm standing up and I'm fully touching the ground with my knee and everything like that. And they do talk to you quite a bit in the elite races because you do have like a judge per lane. That's why it's so strict now. But if they talk to me saying like, make sure you're parallel, I talk back saying, is this okay? Like just making sure that I'm like a goody
Oh,
two
okay.
shoes and just following her
Yeah.
guidance. But I just like do that just for me for them to have trust in me that I'm listening to them and I'm doing what they're
Yeah.
like telling me to do. So I think that's my way of working around it. But again, like it's so like you never really know what type of judge you're going to get or if you get quote unquote like a good judge or a bad judge for you personally. It's just the way that like your technique goes and how they view in that little like they literally have like a meter or half a meter between what you're doing and them. So it's so hard to like crouch down and move and everything like that to see the proper technique. But I know that Hyrox are working behind the scenes to make sure all the like the judging like standards are standardized. So I mean, it'll come as the seasons roll on and the months and everything like that, you will see more consistency. Like, I mean, it just shows with the wall ball targets and everything like that. Like, that's getting so much better with, you know, the no reps and everything like that. So, and seeing it on the screen. So, yeah, it's all like as they progress and the sport gets bigger and bigger. So, yeah, for me, I've obviously had some better judges, bad, like worse judges in terms of like my performance, how efficient I can do a station. But at the end of the day, you've just got to take it on the chin and just keep on going and do what they say.
Yeah, no, that's fair. We were just interested as to like how it may potentially kind of change, you know, the athletes like race or experience, because you often hear on the commentary like, oh, they're now going to like a 2-footed. I know, I think some of the doubles were jumping in 2 feet for the burpees because it helped them potentially not be staggered, and if that then affects your race, and you know it's tricky, like, and it's hard watching, like you say, because we can sometimes see something on the screen and we're like, but there doesn't look like anything's wrong with that, but then they're saying, well, someone's right next to you and they've got a different view because it's a different angle, and yeah, etc
Yeah,
so
there's so much like controversy on it, which I know that Hyrox are trying to limit that, but like what you said, it does change the race. Like if you get talked to once, and for example, you're doing 4 lengths of burpees, if you get talked to on that first half length, like for the rest of the 3 lengths and a half, like you're constantly thinking about, oh my God, am I parallel? Oh my gosh, am I doing this right? And like, God forbid you get a penalty, it's like a 2 minute like deduction on or add to your race. Like that's not what you want halfway through. So like, yeah, it's really, it's tricky, but sometimes you just got to adjust to what they say and just hope for the best.
Yeah. As if the burpees aren't bad enough. Like,
I know.
Like,
Any other station, literally.
It's like
Just
the
be nice to
burpees
me
are
on that
like,
one.
yeah, they're like such
Yeah,
a brutal station anyway. And then judging
I
them is quite
know.
hard. I mean, from a judge's point of view, as well as from an athlete's point of view, like they're just a bit awkward, aren't they? I mean, even
I know. Just get rid of it.
yeah, get rid of the burpees. What are we doing? Oh man, that's so
Exactly.
funny. And do you like the race times being at 4 p.m. now, knowing that you know when you're racing? Is that quite nice? Like,
Yeah,
bit
I mean,
earlier.
I would be the first one to say, like, I'll race at 8 a.m., get it out the way. Just wake up and go and race.
yeah,
I wish. But I mean, 4 p.m. is so much better than 6 or 7 or 8
yeah,
p.m. Like, it's just so, like, it's such a long day. And race days are honestly the worst days ever because you can't do anything to not think about the race. But also, like, every move that you do, you want to obviously be as fresh as possible, but you're still constantly thinking about it and like how will it go and everything like that. And you want to limit your energy to like your energy expenditure to make sure you have the most energy to hit out the race as hard as possible. But 4 p.m. is so much better because like, you know, you have your solid breakfast, your solid lunch, a little snack, and you're ready to go
ready to
rather
go.
than having to like eat your whole day of food and then race and feel like gloggy, and I'm probably in bed by that time anyways. So like, yeah, it's a lot better racing earlier. I wish it was a little bit earlier, but I know from a spectator point of view, they want it to kind of be that later in the day, which fair enough, but yeah, earlier the better.
Yeah, yeah,
I
no.
agree with that.
And then we touched on obviously Phoenix and Warsaw. Have you got any other races planned? Being Hyrox for fun or thrown in there, or not Hyrox? I don't know. Anything else rogue that you're gonna be competing in, or are you just focusing on those next two majors?
For me right now, obviously Phoenix is so soon. It's literally like 3 and a bit weeks away. So obviously Phoenix is my next race. That's what I'm prepping for now. And we've got a little bit of a bigger break between that and Warsaw, which that will be my next race. I know Brisbane is literally the weekend before Warsaw, and I just don't think I would be able to travel from one straight to the other. And essentially, the Brisbane one is just for that one qualifying spot, which I've already got. So I don't really need to race that one, which is thankful for me. But yeah, I'm gonna do all four majors, but I think up until Worlds, it'll just be those two majors and then Worlds, and then I always do like a little fun non-Hyrox race after Worlds. I did a marathon this year, or yeah,
A
this
little.
year. So yeah, just because. And yeah, like I love doing that, like stuff like that away from the season because I don't want Hyrox to consume me. I know like when I was coming in, when I first talked to you, like Hyrox was not my thing yet, but now it's like fully my whole life. So I want to separate and still have, my little hobbies and my little things because I'm still a human at the end of the day. I don't want my whole personality and people think of Joanna and it's just Hyrox, Hyrox, Hyrox. Like I want other things to be me than just the sport itself. So I think after Worlds, that's where it's my little fun time where I can, do different trainings and different events and everything like that.
Yeah,
Do
no,
you
that
still
sounds good.
like play netball or tennis or anything for fun? Like I know netball's probably not the best one because you could probably get quite injured, roll an ankle and stuff. But do you ever like hit a
Yeah.
tennis ball around or like?
Like lately not, but definitely afterwards and like when I like can and I'm not traveling here, there and everywhere, I do love just to either hit on the wall or hit with a partner or something like that because it's just so like it's so fun for me now because there's no pressure behind it. It's just, you're hitting the ball. Like when I was in Hamburg, we went to Frankfurt after with Puma and we played pickleball. And it's literally like a
Yeah.
mini version of tennis. And like that was so fun because it was kind of like my roots growing up. I know it's a smaller condensed court, but still same like racket and tennis ball and everything like that. And like that was just so fun. I was just in my element and it was just like mind was off Hyrox and it was just like, yeah, good fun. So I definitely will like do that when I can, but not right now.
Yeah.
Did you win? Did you get super competitive? You're like back in the zone.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "Oh my
Yeah.
God, Joanna."
I get really competitive. Like, I don't care what I'm doing. Like, I could be playing baseball, volleyball, golf for all that and I want to win. Like, we'll be at the driving range, like doing golf at the driving range. Mind you, I cannot play golf, but I still want to be the one that wins. So it always comes out. It always comes out.
How about because
So
we
good.
just had Christmas, haven't we? New Year. How well we're about to have New Year. How in your family are you quite a competitive family? Do you do any like board games or like Christmas games? How does that get? Or have you just literally
Oh,
tried not to do anything competitive so you can switch off?
no, well, with my family, we always try limit the competitiveness because I think I already like I have too much already. But like with friends and everything like that, you best believe a board game, I'm winning that board game. Like Monopoly or like it's so
Taking it.
fun though. Like and like Uno, like on the plane, everything like that. So I definitely am the most competitive person out there, but like it's all for fun. It's all like it's no pressure
Yeah.
or anything behind it. But yeah, with the family over Christmas, it's just definitely chill, just all calm, relaxed, no competitive, no games, no competition.
Switch off. Yeah, okay. That's
Yeah,
that's
So there's
yeah.
fair.
no arguments. That's
Yeah,
what you
well, you would
need.
hope so.
Um, well, that probably brings us quite nicely onto asking you the final question, which would be, what message or advice would you give to your younger self? I know you're still very young, but I'm still going with it. Or the next generation of girls coming up.
Yeah, well, for myself and any girl listening or younger like athlete or anything like that, I think thinking about this question, it's definitely belief. I definitely think when I was younger, playing tennis, like I always wanted to be a professional sporting athlete. It was tennis back in my day, but I know a lot of girls listening to this, it might be Hyrox or it might be another sport like a triathlete, a runner, a netballer, anything. I think that belief goes a long way. And I think for this season and this year, especially for me, where I really just started to believe in myself and my capabilities, all the ceilings that I had, all the barriers that I thought I could never break, I broke, and I achieved results I actually never thought I'd be physically possible of. So I think obviously, like everyone says, discipline, consistency, commitment, like train hard, eat well, do all those things. Yes, that does help. Obviously, you need to be training and you need to be fueling well, and you can't go party out every single weekend. But I think mindset, like we were talking a lot in this podcast, that's a huge thing. And if you get to that start line, or you're on that netball court, or you're playing that game and you actually don't believe in your abilities, I don't think you could be successful in any way, shape, or form. Because if you don't believe yourself, like other people may believe in you, like your family on the sideline may believe in you, but they can't bring that over to you in your race or your game or anything like that. So you need to have a lot of internal and individual belief in yourself to essentially do the things that you can do. Like if you train really hard, the only way to put that out there and show the world that you train so hard and that you're so fit is if you believe that you can do that on that race course. So yeah, I think for me, like if I spoke to my younger self, it'd definitely just have belief in yourself and yeah, look and show the world what you're made of.
Yeah, love that.
Very good.
Yeah, so
Very
good.
good.
Well, Joe, good luck in Phoenix, because it's really not long. Thank you so much for chatting to us again, and I think like what better way to start the year for people to be able to listen to this, hopefully believe in themselves, set themselves some goals for the year, and pick some races to work towards, and yeah, like we literally can't thank you enough for giving us your time and chatting to us, because you've had one hell of a journey.
Of course, no, thank you guys. You've obviously been there since the start. And I mean, I said this to my mum before that, like, you two are always like the first people to come in, like my DMs or messages, like 3 days before my race, just being like, hey, like getting it early, just wishing you good luck and everything like that. Like, it honestly means the world to me. And I know so many people out there are supporting my journey and have been from the beginning. So, like, thank you from the bottom of my heart. It just means so much. But I feel honored that I'm like a repeat guest on this podcast. It's so
Yes.
cool.
Made so much to talk about. I mean,
I
I feel like we always need you every month to be like, oh, what have we achieved this month? I mean, we're probably doing it
I'll be
with
like
too much to talk about.
the third co-host of this podcast
Yeah.
every
I mean,
month.
to be honest, then everyone will just be like, see you later, Faye and Emma. People just want to listen to you. But no, 100%. We just appreciate everything you've done, your time, and yeah, we just wish you all the best for the rest of the season.
And
We'll
if
definitely catch you in person.
I
Are you going to
I'm
say if
sure.
anyone doesn't know where to
Yeah,
follow?
I mean, I feel like I'm sure everyone does know where to follow you, but you also have the YouTube as well. So,
Oh yeah.
is it Instagram and YouTube are the two main places for people to find you?
Yeah, Instagram obviously is just my first name and last name. I share everything on there, but YouTube's a little bit more behind the scenes. It's my personality and everything like that. I feel more comfortable sharing all the little behind the scenes of the race weekends and everything on there. So yeah, that's just my first name and last name, Joanna Wietrzyk. So that's a new inclusion for this year that we didn't have on the
Yeah,
previous
true.
podcast. So go check out the YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's definitely helped us out. We've been on the treadmill so much in Dubai, and I've been like, oh yes,
Oh,
a vlog. Like this is what we just,
yeah.
yeah, take me away. Like pretend
Oh,
I'm wherever traveling with you. Get my yogurt bowl, going
that's
to
so
Whole
fun.
Foods.
Yeah, literally getting my yogurt or some, oh my gosh, some foreign country doing
Yeah,
some weird stuff.
it's definitely.
Well,
I think
you'll be adding Phoenix to the list
Yeah,
I know your
soon.
you'll be
passport
seeing
must
a
be
Whole
pretty
Foods.
full now. You must have
Yeah.
so many stamps in your
Yeah.
passport, eh?
I know, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger. So, yeah, we're really loading up those frequent flyer points as well. That's great. So,
Yeah, happy
Yeah.
days. Happy days.
yeah, it's so good. I love it.
Oh, well, good luck. We'll be watching, of course, and I think everyone else will be. And thank you so much. And thank you to everyone for listening.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it.